Good day, everyone. We are here to present our case analysis entitled Sony Corporation Still a Leader Globally. This case analysis examines Sony's evolution as one of the world's leading technology and entertainment companies, as well as the strategic challenges it faces in maintaining competitiveness in a rapidly changing global environment. Through this presentation, we will discuss the company overview, problem statement, internal and external analysis, strategic alternatives, and recommendations for the company. So to begin, let us first take a look at the overview of Sony Corporation. Before entertainment became portable and digital, Sony was already transforming how people experience music, gaming, and technology worldwide. Sony was established in Japan in 1946, shortly after World War II. While many companies during that time focused mainly on recovery, Sony focused on innovation and technological advancement. Originally known as Tokyo Tsushin Kogyo, the company later changed its name to Sony in 1958 to create a short-term and more globally recognizable brand identity. Sony became internationally recognized through revolutionary products such as the transistor radio, the Walkman, and eventually the PlayStation, which helped redefine modern entertainment and consumer technology. What makes Sony unique is its ability to combine technology and entertainment within one ecosystem. Unlike traditional electronic companies, Sony operates across gaming, music, films, semiconductors, and electronics and digital services. Today, Sony remains one of the world's most recognized technology and entertainment companies. However, because of its highly diversified business structure and the rapidly changing digital environment, the company now faces the challenge of maintaining strategic focus and long-term competitiveness. To further discuss these concerns, Janalaika Sanchez will now present the problem statement.
Sony's mission is very unclear. It doesn't specifically capture what they really want to tell to the customers. Like, what do they really offer to the customers? What it is that makes them stand out from the competitors? What's something unique they can offer to the customers? They say that they fulfill the curiosity, but we're not even curious about it. Like, it doesn't really trigger the curiosity because it's so generic. It's too broad to really capture the message they want to convey. Also, they have two ventures for professional, those that use business tools, and also ventures for ordinary consumers. So there's a tension in balancing those two ventures, and so if they're not able to prioritize between them, there may be a problem that will arise. Sony produces high-quality products, and they closely monitor all suppliers to make sure everything is of great quality and to meet their standards. However, while their investment in research and development may be a great asset in having a competitive advantage, but it actually costs them a lot of production and operational cost. Their devices also and services are not integrated enough, causing some system latency that limits user experience. Sony's trusted brand image they gained through the years made it easier for them to market their product. To do that, they have their own ways, such as using personalized campaigns through the PlayStation Network, where they create ads, promote the products to the users, and then they also have created the Alpha Universe, which is a platform for the community of photographers, videographers, and content creators where they promote and educate them about their products, which is useful for their profession. Aside from that, they also spend a large amount of money in television ads, and they also try to keep up with digital advertising. But then, despite this, they're actually considered as a weak company in terms of marketing game. This is because they mostly rely on what they call brand brand residual equity, which means to say that they trust so much their past achievements that it will be enough for the customers to prefer them over other competitors because of what they have achieved over the years. But then it's actually not the not a good marketing approach, because companies need to be relevant, need to keep being relevant or make their presence known, so that customers will also be more educated about them, more more influence to choose them. And that's where they failed. Unlike their competitors like Samsung and Apple, they try to keep up with the demands, with the changing customer tastes and preferences. They try to maximize the use of digitalization. They appear, or they make their presence known globally, not just in TV ads. They also appear on the internet, reaching a large customer base, which is something that Sony is falling behind. Aside from that, Sony is known to produce premium products, but then their products are known to be pricey. So for those who are in tight budget, or those that cannot afford such things, then they would more likely consider the other competitors.
Now, to continue, Jana will be discussing the internal analysis that assess the strengths and weaknesses of Sony Corporation in different dimensions.
Operating in lots of business segments is a difficult thing to do, but Sony Corporation is able to do it in 12 core business segments, which is very amazing. I commend them for that. And that increases their profitability. And also, they have innovative experts which help them create a lot of things, pioneered in a lot of things, especially in electronics and gaming industry. And so because of that, they've established a brand image over the years. They're already trusted for premium quality products that they offer, and so they already have a loyal customer base, and it is also easy for them to appeal to customers because of this trusted brand image. Also, they have strategic partnerships and collaborations with other businesses for them to be able to expand more on their product offerings and also to cut some cost. But then the problem here is that they heavily rely to some segments, like for example, in the gaming and entertainment industry. In segments, they heavily rely on those segments. So what happens here is that when there's a volatility in that certain segments that they rely on, so they subject their company to a overall a decline in the performance because they invest more on those segments, and the other segments are left not very attended. And then one more thing is that there is an internalized silo and decentralization, and that stem from the aggressive need or one of the divisions, or yeah, of the other divisions, like in the music division, electronic divisions, to have freedom on their own. So what happened is that they did not communicate well with different divisions. They keep such information in their end, so that causes a lot of mess, because like for example in the that certain division already created that certain thing, and then the other division is planning also to create that. And because there is no communication between two divisions because of decentralization, so that causes duplicate costs. So it yeah, duplicate causes cost. So that's a problem, correct? So that's it.
We have also assessed the financial dimension of Sony Corporation. Sony's financial health is really strong overall. They earn high profits, hit record sales and income lately, which are driven mainly by gaming, music, and image sensors. They have steady cash flow from their popular products and services, and they keep investing in new technology, content, and giving returns to shareholders, which builds collaboration. But there are challenges too, even how financially strong they are. Their growth is slowing down a bit. Their big, diverse business makes decision making slow, and they use quite a bit of debt, which we analyze that they are into debt financing, which could be risky if the economy or global situation gets unstable. Lastly, let us look into the management and formation system of Sony Corporation. So, Sony uses very advanced digital systems, AI, and data tools to run their business smoothly worldwide. These systems connect creators, teams, and customers easily, help share information fast, and make work and decision making much more efficient across all departments. However, relying so much on digital tools and data brings risks too. They have to be careful about cyber attacks, keeping customer data safe, and managing very complex systems so they don't slow down or fail.
To better understand Sony's position in the global market, let us now examine the external factors that create opportunities and threats for the company. This includes the political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors affecting Sony's business operations. Starting with the political factors. So, from a political perspective, Sony benefits from government support for technology innovation, semiconductor manufacturing, and digital industries. Since Sony operates heavily in gaming, entertainment, image sensors, and digital services, these government initiatives create opportunities for the company to further expand its technological capabilities and online platforms. In addition, the continued growth of e-commerce and digital infrastructures globally allows Sony to strengthen its gaming ecosystem, digital entertainment services, and online content. However, political factors also create major risks for Sony because the company relies heavily on international manufacturing, suppliers, and global markets. So, trade tensions, particularly between the United States and China, may lead to tariffs, supply chain disruptions, and increased production costs. Since Sony operates across multiple countries, political instability and changes in international trade policies may also affect the company's profitability and overall business operations. So, aside from political factors, Sony is also heavily influenced by global economic conditions. From an economic perspective, Sony benefits from having a diversified business model. Since the company operates across gaming, music, films, semiconductors, and digital entertainment, it is not heavily dependent on only one source of revenue. So this creates growth opportunities because industries such as gaming, streaming, and digital entertainment continue to expand globally. However, Sony also faces economic threats. During inflation or economic uncertainty, consumers may reduce spending in premium products such as gaming consoles, cameras, and televisions. Rising production costs and strong competition may also affect Sony's profitability and long term financial performance. Aside from economic conditions, changing consumer behavior and social trends also greatly influence Sony's competitiveness in the global market. From a social perspective, Sony benefits from the growing popularity of gaming, streaming platforms, anime, music, and digital entertainment worldwide. Through brands such as PlayStation, Sony Music, and Crunchyroll, the company is able to connect with the different age groups and modern entertainment trends. In addition, the rise of creator culture and online communities creates opportunities for Sony to further expand its digital ecosystem and audience reach. However, social trends change very quickly, especially among younger consumers. Changes in entertainment preferences, gaming habits, and digital trends may affect Sony's relevance if the company fails to continuously innovate and adapt to consumer behavior. To further discuss the technological, legal, and environmental factors, Mary Crystal Lumapay will now continue the presentation.
Next, we have a technologically external analysis, which is Sony holds a strong global position. It involves in AI, semiconductors, gaming, and sensors, with iconic products like the PlayStation. Areas like virtual reality and AI entertainment are growing fast, and a rising demand for immersive tech and smart devices keeps Sony highly relevant and competitive. However, challenges exist. So the industry changed very fast, and rivals like Samsung, Apple, and Microsoft are strong. If Sony's slow innovation, it involves losing market share. It also faces cybersecurity threats and high research costs. So constant innovation and secure platforms are critical for success. Next, we have legal external analysis. Operating worldwide brings both opportunities and risks. Following global laws build trust and reputation. Sony has strong policies on ethics and intellectual property, but rules are getting more complex, and issues like copyright or data loss can lead to big cost or damage its image if not managed well. Lastly is environmentally. Sony is moving forward with its Road to Zero and 2030 green goals. This boasts its reputation, appeals to eco-friendly customers, and can lower costs. But stricter regulations, climate risk, and material shortages create a pressure. Failing sustainability standards could lead to fines and lost trust.
Based on the results from the Porter's 5 Forces framework, we have developed alternatives to mitigate those forces mentioned that are in medium to high levels. First alternative is to strengthen the research and development that focuses heavily on AI, virtual reality, gaming, technology, smart electronics, and entertainment platforms. For example, they can try adapting PlayStation into anime and films. Through this, they are giving reasonable reasons for their premium price so that customers feel they get what they paid for. Next is through expanding to emerging markets and developing countries for a wider customer base and increasing global presence. This may be somehow difficult and pricey, but if they target long-term relevance in global market and profitability, this is a good step. Next is through integrating and controlling hardware, software, and content. How to do this? So they can do this, for example, PlayStation Network is the hub. While customer plays, there's Sony music playing or a free anime episode to watch. And so this is a good strategy to gain competitive edge by providing customers with everything they need in a single place, potentially driving customer loyalty because what else do they need? When everything is already provided by Sony, from the PlayStation console to the games and apps and to the movies and musics, right?
For
So
recommendations,
this
focus
is something
resources
that
on your
most
strongest,
competitors
most
can't
profitable
do,
areas like
and they
gaming,
must take
entertainment,
advantage of
semiconductors, and
this because
digital
they have a lot of
services.
businesses, they
Refine
have
your
a lot of
brand to stand
segments
out
that they
as
can
a
integrate.
tech entertainment leader,
Next thing is
especially to
that
younger
through building or
customers.
acquiring
Step up
in-house
digital
manufacturing
marketing
for
and social
critical
engagement to
components
stay
so
relevant.
that they
Connect
don't
all
depend
products
heavily
and
on
services
suppliers.
seamlessly
Or
so
they may also
users get one
negotiate with
smooth
them a
experience.
long-term
Keep
contracts in
investing in
exchange for
research and
bulk
development
orders
like AI
so
and
that they are
immersive data,
prioritized for
but only
supplies
where
and input
customers need
costs
it.
are
Stay
stabilized.
financially
Or
stable
they
by
can
managing debt
also
and cash
consider
flow,
forming joint
and keep
ventures with
leading in
suppliers so that
sustainability
they
because
create
it builds
mutual
value and
dependency on
trust
each
of
other and they can
customers.
have control also over the supplies. And lastly, they may try to look for alternative raw materials instead.
So for this case analysis, we have used two frameworks in order to present our alternatives. So since we are done with the first framework, let's go to the second one, which is the IE matrix or the internal external matrix. So what is IE matrix? This is a strategic management tool used to evaluate an organization's overall position by analyzing its internal strengths and weaknesses together with external opportunities and threats. Based on the internal factor evaluation or the IFE and external factor evaluation EFE matrices, it helps determine appropriate strategies such as growth, stability, or retrenchment. It is a 9-cell matrix built on two axes. So what are these two axes? So these are x-axis and y-axis. So the x-axis is the IFE score that measures internal strengths and weaknesses that ranges from 1 to 4. So for its range, 1.0 to 1.99 is a weak internal position, wherein 2.0 to 2.99 is an average internal position, and 3.0 to 4.0 is a strong internal position. So let's go to the y-axis. So the y-axis is the EFE score or the external factor evaluation, which measures external opportunities and threats that also ranges from 1 to 4. These are the internal factors we have evaluated
to
that composes the
1.99
strength and weaknesses of Sony
indicates
Corporation.
low opportunity
We have assessed
and
the
high
weight of
threat.
each factor to Sony
2.0
and determine its rating
to
through how
2.99
extensive these
is a
factors
medium
are to
external
Sony
environment,
Corporation. These
and the
factors determines
3.0 to
our
4.0
IFE
is
score,
a high
which is
opportunity
the
and low threat.
3.34. So this matrix also have three strategic zones, which you can also see on the table that we have on the framework. These strategic zones are the green cells, the yellow cells and the red cells. So the green cells represent the grow and build cells, which are the cells 1, 2, 4, which this when the result of the IA matrix for this one, this grow and build would be by the 3 to 4. So this grow and build, it would focus on market penetration, market development, product development, and backward integration. And then the second zone is the hold and maintain, which are the yellow cells. And these are the cells 3, 5, 7. So these the results would be the second strategic zone is the hold and maintain, which are the yellow cells. So these yellow cells will focus on. So the second strategic zone is the hold and maintain, which is the yellow cell. These are cells 3, 5, and 7. So its focus would be market penetration and product development if this is the result of the IE matrix. So the third strategic zone would be the harvest or divest strategy. So this has weak internal position and also unfavorable or moderate external position. So its result would go into retrenchment or divestiture. In the case analysis of Sony Group Corporation, we have decided that we will use the AIE matrix as the second framework, as it is significant to present our alternatives because it provides a clear framework for assessing the company's competitive position, strategic capabilities, and market conditions, allowing for more informed analysis and strategic recommendations after. So, as we have used the IE matrix, we have analyzed that Sony Corporation has strong internal position and also has high external opportunity, and we are able to understand it as we see in the figure 2, we're in the blue line, the x-axis and y-axis that shows IFE score as 3.34 and EFE score as 3.04 respectively. These are the internal factors we have evaluated that composes the strength and weaknesses of Sony Corporation. We have assessed the weight of each factor to Sony and determined its rating through how extensive these factors are to Sony Corporation. These factors determined our IFE score, which is the 3.34. These are also the external factors we have evaluated that determine the opportunities and threats to Sony Corporation. We also assessed the weight of each opportunity and threat to Sony and determined its rating through how each external factor could impact the business operations of Sony Corporation. These factors determined the EFE score, which is the 3.04. So based on our IE matrix result, our IFE score is 3.34, which indicates strong internal position, and EFE score for 3.04 that also indicates high opportunity and low threat. So as we assess this one, we are made to analyze that Sony follows the grow and build strategy, which is the green cells, and we have developed alternatives derived from this strategy. So the first alternative is to scale existing core businesses, which are some examples of it are gaming, sensors, and entertainment. So this is the most reliable first step that we can see for Sony, since these segments already hold leading market share, strong brand trust, and proven technical strengths. Sony can expand production capacity, launch more premium products and content, and push deeper into fast-growing markets like Southeast Asia and India to quickly boost revenue and maximize returns from what they already do best. The second alternative would be to expand into mobility and AI technology. So this is a natural extension of the core strengths and sensors, imaging, audio, and content of Sony rather than a totally new field. So Sony can absolutely start, for example, with the Afila EV joint venture with Honda, positioning vehicles as mobile entertainment hubs while building AI powered tools for consumers, industries, and enterprises. So this turns as an existing tech advantages into fresh, sustainable revenue streams aligned with global trends of Sony. So the third alternative would be to build unified ecosystem and direct channels. So right now, Sony's products and services feel disconnected. So integrating everything into one connected platform will let users access gaming, music, movies, and devices seamlessly under one account. So adding direct to consumer sales, streaming, and brand stores will cut out as well middleman costs, raise profit margins, and help Sony build closer, more loyal long term relationships with customers worldwide. So the fourth alternative would be to be selective with acquisitions and partnerships. So building every new capability from scratch takes too long. So targeted purchases or collaborations with game studios, technology startups, or content creators will help Sony fill gaps and gain valuable intellectual property faster. So Sony must only choose deals that match their core strengths and growth goals. So every partnership or acquisition creates synergy and delivers clear, long-term value without wasted resources. So our fifth alternative would be to enter to new related sectors. So Sony can actually expand beyond consumer electronics by entering into adjacent high potential fields like medical technology, tools, or industrial solutions. Wherein these are areas where their expertise in imaging, sensing, audio, and displays already applies perfectly. So this keeps risk very low since they don't need to learn entirely new skills while opening up stable long-term growth opportunities that they haven't fully tapped yet.
For recommendations, focus resources on your strongest, most profitable areas like gaming, entertainment, semiconductors, and digital services. Refine your brand to stand out as a thick entertainment leader, especially to younger customers. Step up digital marketing and social engagement to stay relevant. Connect all products and services seamlessly so users get one smooth experience. Keep investing in research and development like AI and immersive tech, but only where customers need it. Stay financially stable by managing debt and cash flow, and keep leading in sustainability because it builds value and trust of the customers.